Greek temples are iconic structures that have come to represent the civilization and culture of ancient Greece. These structures were built to honor and worship the gods of Greek mythology, and their design and construction have had a significant impact on architecture throughout history. The construction of Greek temples began in the 6th century BC and continued until the Roman period, which lasted until the 4th century AD. These temples were constructed by skilled craftsmen using local materials, such as marble, limestone, and sandstone. The design of these temples was heavily influenced by the geography of the region in which they were built, as well as by the religious beliefs and cultural practices of the people who built them. One of the most distinctive features of Greek temples is their column facades, which typically consist of rows of columns supporting a triangular pediment. The most common type of column used in Greek temples is the Doric column, which is characterized by its simple, fluted design and lack of ornamentation. The Ionic column, which is characterized by its scroll-like volutes at the top, was also used in some Greek temples, as was the more ornate Corinthian column, which features stylized acanthus leaves at the top. Greek temples were typically built on elevated sites, such as hilltops or rocky outcrops, and were oriented towards the east to face the rising sun. The entrance to the temple was typically located on the west side, and visitors would enter through a monumental gateway known as a propylaeon. Inside the temple, there was usually a large central hall known as a cella, which housed a cult statue of the deity to whom the temple was dedicated. The construction of Greek temples was a highly ritualized process, with each stage of the construction being accompanied by elaborate ceremonies and sacrifices. The construction of a temple typically began with the selection of a site and the laying of the foundation stone. Once the foundation was in place, the builders would begin work on the columns and the other architectural elements of the temple. Finally, the roof would be added, and the temple would be dedicated in a ceremony attended by priests, officials, and members of the public. Over the centuries, many Greek temples fell into disrepair and were destroyed, but a number of well-preserved examples still exist today. Some of the most famous Greek temples include the Parthenon in Athens, the Temple of Apollo at Delphi, and the Temple of Zeus at Olympia. These structures continue to inspire awe and wonder among visitors, and their legacy can be seen in the architecture of many buildings around the world. The construction of Greek temples was not only a reflection of religious beliefs and cultural practices, but it also served as a means of asserting political power and cultural identity. These temples were often built using the wealth and resources of the ruling class, and they served as a symbol of their authority and influence. The impressive scale and grandeur of these temples also. Greek temples were not just religious structures, but also served a variety of other functions. For example, some temples were used as treasuries, where valuable offerings and tribute were stored. Others were used as meeting places for political assemblies or as venues for cultural events, such as plays and musical performances. The Temple of Athena Nike on the Acropolis in Athens, for example, was not only a place of worship, but also served as a monument to the victories of the Athenian army. Despite their cultural significance, the construction of Greek temples was not without controversy. Some critics, such as the philosopher Xenophanes, argued that the construction of elaborate temples was a waste of resources and that the true nature of the gods could not be captured in physical structures. Others, such as the historian Herodotus, criticized the use of forced labor and the exploitation of resources that went into the construction of these temples. In conclusion, Greek temples were a vital part of the culture and society of ancient Greece. These structures served as a means of expressing religious beliefs, asserting political power, and reinforcing cultural identity. The design and construction of these temples was heavily influenced by geography, religious beliefs, and cultural practices, and they continue to inspire awe and wonder today. Additionally, the construction of Greek temples had a significant impact on the development of architecture throughout history. The principles of Greek architecture, such as the use of columns, pediments, and symmetry, have been emulated and adapted by architects throughout the world. Greek architecture has influenced the design of buildings ranging from the Roman Colosseum to the U.S. Supreme Court building in Washington, D.C. Furthermore, the cultural significance of Greek temples has made them a subject of study and fascination for scholars and lay people alike. Archaeological excavations and scholarly research have revealed new insights into the religious practices, social structures, and artistic achievements of ancient Greece. Greek temples remain an enduring testament to the creativity, ingenuity, and cultural richness of the ancient Greek civilization.